Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta. We are having some wonderful weather right now, so I'm finding it hard to get down to my craft room and be inside. But I have a great card for you today using some new product from the new catalog, and I have a lot of news on my desk for you. So let's go down and have a look. You can see I've got all kinds of things placed on my desk to get started. So we'll start with the news, Stampin' Up! News first. You know we have a new catalog, which I didn't bother to bring over. Mine is right here. Somewhere, I thought. Okay, so there's our new catalog. If you do not have a demonstrator in Canada and you would like a paper copy, an actual copy of it, please let me know. You can contact me through my Stampin' Up! Website, which is margaretgorn.stampinup.net, or my email, which is mrgorn@shaw.ca. And I'll get that mailed off to you or leave it as a porch pickup if you're in my area. Okay, behind me. All right, let's see. We've got the new catalog. I said already, this is the paper pumpkin that you would need to subscribe to before June the 10th. It's called Bikes and Blooms. Looks really cute. It says these cheerful cards with standout silver details are made for feel-good moments. So I think they're sort of a general, it's going to be a general kind of greetings in it. Makes 9 cards, each of 3 designs, and you get your envelopes. Silver foil and pre-cut paper pieces, silver butterfly embellishments, and linen thread. Your Stampin' Spot is Calypso Coral in this one. The Wonderful Scenes Dies add-ons are here at the bottom. I've shown them to you before. They were good for, let's see, April, May, and now the June kit. And when we get the next 3 paper pumpkins, then there'll be new dies. So this, the dies are 168, 665, and they're $18. And those are a picture of all the different dies that you get. All right, so that's our paper pumpkin. Our new product of the month is out for May, Berry Botanical Vellum. I do not have it yet. It is 12 by 12, and by all accounts that I've seen anyone using it, they say it's quite heavy vellum. You get 12 sheets, 3 each of the 4 single-sided designs. So these are the designs down the side here. A green dot, the floral. I think this is Fresh Freesia plaid, and then another floral. And I watched the girl that designed and painted all these designs to be made into vellum. She, the artist, I guess, she made this one specifically with the pieces spread apart so you could fussy cut them out. And I thought that was very smart of her, because this one is very close together and overlapping and whatnot. So this is what was her take on this. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, it is $7. When you place an order of $100 or more, you're eligible to purchase this for $7. Okay. This was the product of the month for April, and it is still available if you didn't get it. Again, it's eligible with an order of $100. This one is $5 to purchase. The Eyelet Blooms die. Now, I showed this to you last week, I think. It comes like this. There's the actual die, which is 4 1/4 by 6. It's very detailed. I haven't played very much with it, but I did run a piece of basic white through with it, and I did it with the die face up, and it seemed like all the little pieces popped out a little bit better. I've heard people complaining that it is so intricate that the pieces don't pop out. So again, another suggestion is a piece of wax paper over this or a dryer sheet. So like I say, I haven't really played with it too much, so I don't have too many ideas to give you, but those were presented by other demonstrators that have used it. So that is still available if you want it, and it is very pretty. Look at it, cut out of gold. Love that one. Okay, put that to the side. With our new catalog, we have a new starter kit offer. This only runs for the month of May. When you join Stampin' Up! Between May 5th and the 31st, you will receive $165 worth of product. So from the new catalog or any online exclusives or even the last chance list, you can build your kit $165 worth. You pay $135. Now you can choose one of two things that you want to do. Get the new in color, new classic stamp pads that are the magnetic pads for free. Or if you don't want them or you already have them, you can add $50 more product onto your starter kit for the $135. So that's a really good deal. The starter kit is always a good deal, even at the regular when you're not getting anything extra. This is extra, so that's even better. So if you need any more information on that or you'd like to join and not quite sure how, please contact me and I can walk you through that. Okay, there is a craft class called Paper Mixer coming up May 21st at 2 p.m. You purchase this class for $41 and you have a class online with them. There are certain things they are using, papers, and there is a list. You'll get this once you've registered, and they give you all the supplies that they're suggesting. Again, I'm sure you can use your own paper, and you'd get lots of great ideas from this class. Okay, that's May 21st. All right, I think that's all the news, other than there are 2 new kits that came out. There's new online exclusives that came out with our new catalog. And please check the last chance list again. I keep saying that every week, but there's still good things on it. We're going to use some of them today. All right, so for our card today, I'm not exactly sure what to call this card. I've seen lots of demonstrators do it. It gives me a feeling of an Argyle pattern, so I'm going to leave you with that and just say that's sort of what it is. Today we're going to use Basic Beige as our card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, so it'll be just a regular fold. I have a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, so that's the one that gives you just that tiny little border when you put it on your card base. So just like that little tiny border. And then I have another piece of Basic Beige, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is what we're going to build our pattern on. I have a white envelope, which I've already stamped, and that'll give you a clue as to what stamp set I'm using. This is a new one in our catalog called Lily of the Valley. So there's the stamp set. Very pretty. There's the dies that coordinate. So we are going to be using the dies today and the stamp set. I have stamped the inside of my card already, and you can see I've stamped my envelope as I showed you. The inside of my envelope I stamped with stamped off Basic Beige of the Lily of the Valley flower, and then I used Granny Apple Green for the happy birthday that comes from this stamp set. All right, so that's the stamp set we're using and the dies. And the paper we're using is from Lily of the Valley. It's called Valley in Bloom paper. And if you haven't seen it, I'll quickly show it to you. These are the pieces. One, I'll flip them over to show you the other side after. This is Basic Beige, this pattern. I don't know if you can see that. It's a nice, really nice diamond kind of pattern. I really like that. That's very pretty. Then there's a couple sheets of these, different ones. Great for scrapbooking, but they can also be used for us card makers. I tend to cut them at 5 1/4 by 4, and you could get 6 card fronts out of this, just like that. So that's an option for that, or as a scrapbook page. And the colors in this paper are Basic Beige, Blackberry Bliss. Now there's only a couple of pieces that have the blackberry on them. This one is one. You can see it right there. Coastal Cabana, Darling Duckling, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pretty Peacock. And again, this one has some of the Pretty Peacock in it. So really pretty paper. And if you like Lily of the Valley, it's wonderful. This one is probably the Granny Apple with the Garden Green on top of the leaves. here's another one that's great for scrapbookers. Sorry, I move it up a little bit. Just has the pattern along the bottom and up the sides a little bit. Again, it can be cut for card fronts if you wanted. Okay, and this is the last one. So this is a bigger Lily of the Valley pattern. All right, I'll flip them over so you can see what we call the B side. Flip them over. So there's your Coastal Cabana. I would say this is Garden Green. There's a basic beige. There's your Darling Duckling. And then these patterns are the same kind of pattern, but just in the different colors. So this one is white with the green on it, and this one is Darling Duckling with the white on it. So very nice paper. So that's what we're using today. However, I'm using 1-inch squares. So it's almost like I'm using up paper that I haven't even used yet, but this is a really nice design. I've seen lots of people do it. My upline Lillian did it, and I think it's really quite brilliant. So we're going to try it today. Now, we're going to try something a little different. This is my 4 by 5 1/4 basic beige piece. Lillian's suggestion to get your little squares, and I'll bring my squares up. I have cut a 1-inch strip of all the papers, and so I have 12 different pieces to choose from for my squares. You need about 9, okay? So just so you know that. All right, they're going to be put on here, but Lillian's suggestion, you have to get your first row straight or the whole pattern goes off. So she suggested that you use your paper trimmer and score at the 2-inch mark. And you're not going to see this score line when you put the card together because you'll see you're going to have your squares on top of it. So we're going to score at the 2-inch mark. So I'll just put my piece in, the long side at the top, and score. And you want it dark enough so that you can see it. So I hope you can see that, okay? So that helps us get things lined up, and I think that's a brilliant idea, a very, very good tip, okay? So the other tip she had was you can take Post-it notes, and I've got the little strips here. We're going to use a bright color so we can see it. And she put the Post-it note on the back and just lined it up with the top of her line here, so that when we lay our piece on, say I'm laying this piece like this, I'm going to have the point on the line and on the line, and then I can see, because you kind of can't see your line on the very edge there. Okay, so one on there and one on the other end. Okay, and then then you can just peel these off when you're done. But that really was another great suggestion, so that your first row is very even. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I think you'll be happy to know that I got a new bottle, so hopefully my glue will flow properly today. All right, now before I do any gluing, I want to do some dry fitting. So some of these are patterned, of course, and some are not. So I kind of wanted to mix them up, and I didn't know if I wanted to use the Darling Duckling, so I'm going to kind of pull those out of there. And I wasn't sure about the Coastal Cabana, but we'll see. So let's kind of wanted to keep them kind of together so I could see what the colors were. So if I did something like this, and you'll note that 3 don't fit across here perfectly. So you have to shuffle them over. You're going to lose a bit of a corner here. So you're going to try to get them even. So this one, you can see how much of the corner is sticking off. And this one, let's see. We want the corner to be, sticking off a little bit. And then this one up in the middle. So there's going to be a little bit of room between them. So that's the premise. You start with that, glue them on, you can remove these. And again, you do not see that line that you've scored there. You could draw it in with pencil, but you might see the pencil line in between. So then I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do now for colors? I think I might want, because we're going to do 3 rows, and than just the corner kind of things that go with it. You could leave it like that. There's all kinds of ways you can do this pattern, which is really neat. I think I will use the blue just because I see it peeking out there and it doesn't scream at the green. And this one here, I don't know if I like those two patterns together, but that's why we do this. We dry fit them. So it's going to be like that. And then you're going to just use pieces to fill in here, here, and the 4 little pieces there. So I want to know, am I happy with that or not? I'm not actually loving it. So I'm going to move this around a little bit. I'm thinking I like all the patterned pieces, but do I maybe want to use one? This one maybe is very busy and it kind of looks like it's going the wrong way to me. So if I replaced it with that one and then use this one as some of the corners, maybe that would work. Now I do have basic beige pieces here, but I was thinking I wasn't going to use them necessarily because we're on the basic beige. They kind of don't show up all that great. This one's not bad. And like I said, I'm avoiding the Darling Duckling. Now, if I flip these over, you'll see what's on the other side. I could have used this one. That's a really nice one. So let's see about this. Maybe use this one for the other. It's got lots of green on it. I kind of like that. So either this one or this one to do the fill in. So let's start with taking these off. I think I will start with this corner one. So I'm going to put glue, and you can see one of the corners sticks off. So I'm going to put it on. And I know you probably can't see my line, but I can. And so then I want to just make sure that that point is on my line here and lining up there. Oops, and I smeared my glue. Didn't mean to do that. Good thing we have blue erasers, okay? So that one goes there, and then I'm going to glue this one, and I want it to look the same, sticking off the corner a little bit there. So I think I will. So just a little bit of liquid glue on it, and off the corner here, about the same amount as my other one, and getting it on my line. Just like that. Now, I haven't done anything yet. Whoops. Where's the piece I want for the middle? This green one for the middle. Like that. Or maybe I want the blue one in the middle. Ooh, I kind of like the blue one in the middle. I'll do it next. So that one we can put down completely. Now, if you're very, very careful when you're putting this down, you can move these around a little bit because they have liquid glue, right? But I think I did pretty good on that. So there's our first row, and you can see that it sticks off approximately the same amount on each edge, and we're going to just cut that off. Now I can take these stickies off of here and get rid of them because I don't need them again. And our first row is built. So let's just move these back onto here, and I'm going to pull this silicone mat in so that I can use it possibly. All right, so now I want to see, what do I want on here? This green one here. This is the yellow that we were avoiding. Where's the other yellow one we were avoiding? Oh boy, that's funny. Oh, I think it was this one. So I think I'm going to use this on the corners because I think that's going to be really nice. That and that. Okay, so if I put that one there and say this one here, like that, and no, maybe we'll put that one there. This is the biggest, this is the part that takes the longest, deciding where you want your squares. No, I don't like that there. That's funny. It's too green there. So you know what? I may end up using this guy after all. I wasn't going to put him in there, but I think I will. Like that. And then trying to see what I want on the other side. This other side is this basic beige. I just think it kind of disappears on here, but maybe it'll be all right. Maybe not. I don't know what to do here. Let's see. Maybe I'll put this one here, and I will put this one here. What do you think? This piece and this piece are the same, but of course they're not the same pattern because we cut them out of a 1-inch strip. So I like the look of that. I think I'm going to go with it. So I'm just going to glue my pieces on. So just white glue. And I'm doing them one at a time because I want to make sure that I remember where I wanted to put them. And I'm leaving a little bit of an edge in between, as you can see. Just like that. Okay. Oops. Now I'm really gluey. And just like that. Okay. And these top ones. So this is the part that takes the longest, is, you know, deciding where you want your squares to go. But I think it is a really fun look. And like I said to you, it sort of reminds me of an Argyle pattern, which I think is kind of cool. All right. And then now I'm thinking I want maybe this one because it's different up here. I think I'll put this one on, and then I'll use that other one for the edges. You know, can't make a decision here today. All right, let's see. Put it this way maybe. Okay. So again, you can see how it all lines up like that. And then I'm going to just take this one, I think. Could use one of these. Wonder if I should use these two just for the little tiny pieces that are going to be on the outside. But they're too beige, I think. Just not sure. I do like them. So maybe I will use them. So what you want here is you want to just add just that little triangle right there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. Just, whoops, to show that it's going to go in there. And I'm just going to put this like that, okay? And leave it to dry because it's going to take a minute. This one I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to just put it over here. And again, you don't need very much glue under these, but enough that's going to hold it in place. Okay, I need to shuffle it in there a little bit and then let it dry. And then I think I'll just swap. Once I cut those off, I'll put the opposite ones up on the top. Okay, so that's our pattern. Now, I have used the dies for the Lily of the Valley, and the dies look like this. There they are there. I'm going to move those out of the way. The dies look like that. And I have cut on an adhesive sheet. I cut out the actual Lily of the Valley. So it's this die here. So I've cut that out, and it has an adhesive sheet on the back. If you're not familiar with those adhesive sheets, I did bring them in. I really like them for things that are going to be hard to glue on. Like, you don't want the glue squishing out from behind here. So I use the adhesive sheet for that. Adhesive sheets come like this. You get 12 sheets that are 6 by 12. They last forever. The sheets are really easy to use. You just cut what you need. They are divided into 3. You can see the creases on them. And then you just peel the paper backing off like that to reveal your glue. They are so helpful, like I say, with things that are delicate to glue on. So I really like them. So I actually left one in here. I die cut this, and it's got the adhesive sheet on the back. I did 2 so that I could show you. And then you just pop it out of your die like that. And there we have it. Now, I did play around with this Lily of the Valley a little bit because I've seen other people do it. And I just cut one out just on basic white. I colored the green in with my, here I'll put it on my envelope, with my Old Olive blend. And I took a sponge dauber and I used the Coastal Cabana and I just touched it to the bottom of the flowers. So it's okay. It livened it up a little bit, I thought, because I thought I was going to use it onto here, but I think I'm just going to use the plain white ones because I think I like the look of that. Haven't decided where they're going yet. Another die I used was this crisscross one. This is what it looks like. I did not cut this on adhesive sheets, and I probably should have, but there is places to put your glue, and I thought that might go under our greeting. And I am using from the Last Chance list the hybrid embossing folder. Sorry, I'm going to peel it off here. That is called Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. It was $52. It's $41.60. I really like this because it pre-makes your greetings that you don't have to stamp them. So it looks like this. You get the hybrid embossing folder, which has all the words in it here. So there's all your words. You get the die set, which looks like, just let me see if I can get it back on my, looks like this. This is the die set. So you get all these little dies. There's little leaves, there's little flowers, there's little clouds, there's stars, there's a rainbow and more clouds and some hearts and another rainbow. But the star of the show, of course, is this die, which fits in your embossing folder. So it slots in your embossing folder. I just have to see which way it goes. It goes this way. And it goes like this, and you can, it drops in there and doesn't move. You'll feel it when it drops in properly. You place your piece of paper on top, close it up, run it through your embossing folder, and you have all these pre-cut and embossed words. So I did the word celebrate. That's what it looks like up close. So it's embossed and cut out. And I did it in two colors because I didn't know what I wanted. So there we go. It's in Granny Apple Green and in the basic beige. So that's what I did for that. And I love this. Like I said, you can run this through and get all these words cut out in one color. Or what I did is I just took a small piece of cardstock and I just literally put that size of piece of cardstock in there and I just cut out one word. So I just cut the celebrate out. But I love this idea and I think it's a really good buy, especially because now they put it on the Last Chance list so that you get it for a savings. So that's one thing to look for on the Last Chance list, the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. So it comes with those two parts. Okay. I also have the embossing folder called Floral Spray that is with this suite of products for the Lily of the Valley. Gorgeous. It's a huge embossing folder. This is it here. I did emboss a piece of beige to show you, partial embossed. It's only part of the, I think I did it like this. I just put it in the bottom corner here and just embossed that. That is what I was going to put my squares on, but I've decided to try something different. Now that we have our squares on, I'm going to trim them off, the ones that are hanging off the edge here, and we're going to put the last two corners on. Okay, so I want this piece, but I don't want that little one. Okay, and I'm going to cut this off. Don't want that little one, but I do want the other one. Okay, so now what you can do with this other piece you have, I'm going to put it up here and this other one up here, and then we finished off our pattern. So I will put some glue here. Like that. My thought was to do something a little different. Get our pattern all put together like this, and I'm going to run this whole piece through this embossing folder and see what it looks like. So if it's a bust, I'll go back to using this one. But I think it will be fine. I think it will be very interesting. But I thought I'm going to give this a try just to give it some different look here. Okay. So there we go. We'll let that dry a little bit. And then we will run this through the embossing folder and finish up our card. Now, it seems like a lot of work for this one thing, but I really like the way it looks. I think the end result will be excellent. I had someone asking me how I am storing, or not storing, but how I'm dealing with the new packaging and the new stamps and dies. I will show you. This is my dies from the Lily of the Valley dies. What I do when I get them is I take a fine tip marker, black marker, and I go around each die so that when I pull it off, like this one, I can see that's where it belongs and it goes back on right there. And I also will know if I'm missing a die on this sheet. So you can see I've used this one and then I pulled it off. There's my lines drawing underneath, and then it just helps me remember or know that a die is either not on the sheet or they all are here. Okay, this is a set of 7 dies, just so you know. I haven't used them all yet, but I'll get to them. Also with the stamp set, again, people do different things with them. This is what I do when I get my stamps. I take them out of the package like this. I take off the flimsy window sheet. I take the flimsy one, leave the stamps on here. I ink this up, and I've been using, let me think what color I've been using, Smoky Slate. I didn't want to use black because black often stains your stamps. So I just use Smoky Slate. I open up my insert like this, and you can see I've done this already. I ink it up and I very carefully just lay it down. So then I know that those are the stamps I'm supposed to have. Now, some people are doing this. They're taking tear and tape and they're sticking this right on top, and it would stay on your insert, and then your stamps would be here and you just peel them off of here. I haven't done that. I just like my stamps kind of loose like this, that I can take them right out. I am still placing that flimsy sheet back on, and then I'm going ahead and putting it back in my case like this. But you can see when I lay this on top, I can see I have all my stamps. If one was missing, I'd know it. Okay, so that's the way I'm doing mine. I am still storing mine in these cases that they come in, and I am leaving my stamps and dies separate. But lots of people are putting both the stamps and the die in the same envelope. One thing I do is, this is the way the envelope is supposed to be, and this is the way they came, with it in here like this. What I do is I turn it over and I tuck this flap inside carefully, inside like this, because they don't really need to be closed in my opinion, and I put them in what I would say is backwards, but I can still see through the packaging. It doesn't matter that this isn't here, and I can pull them out easily like that, and I don't have to close them every time, because really they don't need to be closed, I don't think. Okay, so that's just an aside while we were waiting for that glue to dry. Now I can trim these off, last 2, like that. And I don't keep these pieces, but you could. And you can do something fancy on the inside if you want. I'll show you my sample card that I made with retired paper, and we'll see what I did for the inside of that one. Okay, so there's our card front. I am going to put it through the embossing folder. I see I've got a little glue sticking out of there. Just try to peel it off a little bit. I do have a glue eraser, so that's always helpful if I see glue sticking in between. But I'm going to run it through here and just see. I bring my stamp cut and emboss machine in. What I did with the other piece is I just laid it like that. I didn't really want this really big flower, but it's not really going to show on this. So I'm going to put it in like that. I'm going to bring my machine in. I don't normally do this on camera because it wiggles everything so badly, but I'm going to do it today. So it goes in on your number 1 plate, because this is a 3D embossing folder, very thick. It goes through like that. Oh, and I need my gray plate, sorry. I need the specialty plate, which is number 4, and it goes on top like this, and then goes through your machine. It is very tight, I will tell you that. This is a very thick folder, but there, and it will clunk, and I am sorry that the camera's moving. But I couldn't do this ahead, obviously, because I had to do the gluing of the pieces. So let's now get rid of this off my desk and have a look. See if we like it or not. So here it is. Take it out of here. Okay, there. What do you think? Kind of fun, eh? It kind of makes it look like the squares were part of the paper. I don't know, I kind of like it. So let's see what we think. We're going to put it onto our Granny Apple Green piece like this. That really brings that green out, doesn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and glue it on there. I'm not unhappy with it. I think it is kind of a neat look. This folder maybe isn't maybe ideal for this kind of thing, but I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go. Why not? I don't think you can have a bad idea in card making. You have to try all these things out. Why not? All right, so I like the look of that. I think that looks really good. And I'm going to just attach it to the front of my card like this. Yep. And then we'll do the decorating of it. Okay. And like I said, you just get that little glimpse of the Granny Apple Green and the basic beige edge around here. Okay, there we go. I think that looks really neat. Yeah, that really is a different look. Okay, now we have our words. And like I said, I did celebrate. That obviously isn't going to work. So there's the green one, which I really like. And I have these sprigs that I thought I would put on here. And we can cut them. If I thought they should go, I don't really want to cover up a paper. That seems silly. I can put 2 on, just like that, and put my word. Just not sure. Put my word on there, like that, or like the look of that or not. Maybe I just want 1, and maybe I want it to run up the side like that and put my word on here. I will cut that off so we don't see it. Maybe I just want it like that. I don't know. What do you think? And I did cut this crosshatch piece thinking maybe I would stick it underneath my word somehow just to make the word pop off the page. Just like that. I like the look of that too. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I am going to get my silicone mat here back in. And I think I'm going to attach the word just across like this. So I won't have to glue that crosshatch piece kind of down. Won't have to worry about that if I do it like this. I think I'll just do it like that. Stick it down like that and stick it on my silicone mat. Doesn't matter, the glue's getting on there. And then I think I might put it up on dimensionals, and I've brought some minis in, and I can just tuck them behind. Remember that you've now got glue on your silicone mat, so be careful. Let that dry a little bit. And I think I'm going to just put this up this side here. I like the way this looks. And because it's on adhesive sheet, all you have to do is just take your pick tool, take your pick tool and peel up the backing, and very carefully peel it off because you don't want to tear. If you just hold your pick like that, and like I said, I don't think I'm going to use the whole piece, so I'm probably going to cut some of it off, but I want the flowers, so let's just get that far. I'm going to just cut the paper off here like that, and I'm not sure what I'm doing with the rest. Okay, Let's see how dry this is. And I used the word celebrate, which I think is nice. We can center it. We can put it to the side like that. I kind of like it to the side. And then have this running up the side. Just a minute, like that. And that just running up the side. I did bring in some linen thread. So, I mean, I could tie a linen thread on there. That would be nice. Just don't know if I like it as long as that. Like, I'm thinking I might want it down a bit, like about there. Okay, so now I can peel, whoops, I don't want it on there yet. I can peel off the remainder of that and stick it here. It's sticking to me. Okay, it sticks down just like that because it is sticky on the back. Now I can put my word right there. I could stick this there. Let's see. Might want that a bit smaller. There. I could put my word up here. I do like my word there. Don't know about that twine. Now I'm thinking maybe I overlap it like that, and I might put might do that. Okay, I'm going to put lots of thinking going on here. I'm going to put mini dimensionals on the back of this, so we don't want to see them, so I'm going to try to hide them behind the word like this. So we celebrated Mother's Day last weekend. I hope everybody, if you were celebrating, had a good day. Unfortunately, my 2 grandchildren from 2 different families were both sick, so I didn't get a chance to see either of my kids or grandkids, but I did see my daughter last night, or the other night, and was able to have a hug and say Happy Mother's Day in person. So that was nice, but I did spend the day, being that I wasn't going to be seeing anyone. I treated myself to go to the garden center, and I picked out some flowers for my pots, and I got that done, and I cleaned out a flower bed. So that was great. A great way to spend the day in my yard. All right, I think I'm going to, I put that dimensional on there and I can actually see it, so I don't like the look of that. So let's peel that back up, and I don't know, maybe it's too big for here. Let's just see if I can get it there. I think that one's better. There we go. So I'm going to just put it like this, and I think I will overlap my word or my flowers and tuck it down like that. That looks good, and I was thinking I might just tuck this underneath here. Just like that, I can trim those off. So I've got a glue dot. Brought my glue dots in here. I'll roll one up a little bit and make it a bit smaller, and then it goes on your twine a little easier. This is linen thread I'm using. Just like that, roll it up and put it under my knot there, like that, and peel it off. There we go. And then I think I'll just tuck this up under there a little bit, just like that. Okay, and I brought my scissors in. I'm just going to cut my linen thread off a little bit, just to give us a bit of a bow there. All right, there we go. So celebrate on the front. Not liking how that C's popping off, so what I might do is take an edge of my dimensionals here and just cut a piece like that. Just cut a piece off like that and see if it will fit under my C, and then it will go down a bit better. Okay, just put it behind here because I don't like the way that's sitting. So see if this will work. There we go. I like that much better. It's not flopping now. That looks good. I did not purchase the gems that were with this suite. So I should look on here and I'll tell you. We only have the Valley. It's right here. Valley in Bloom Suite Collection. The shimmering dots are very pretty. So this is page 22 in the new catalog and page 23. It goes on to 24 and 25 to give you lots of ideas. Okay, so those are the shimmering dots. I did not get them, so I don't have them to add to this, but that's the whole suite there. All right, there's our card. I hope you enjoyed that. It did take a little more time than I had planned, but I think it's the deciding part. That's the hard part. So there's our card. Spectacular, I think. And when I get those shimmering dots, I think I will add some of them to give this a little pizzazz. And the inside I stamped off with the Lily of the Valley and happy birthday. So I think that's a really cute card. Okay, I'll show you my sample that I did out of the Painted Illusions, which was one of our products of the month. And this is a thank you card. This time I embossed with a retired embossing folder. I embossed the white piece before I put my squares on. And I thought when I was doing this, oh, I should have embossed it after. But so I thought I'd try it with this one. Okay, and I just used the thank you from that same Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. And then on the inside, I didn't stamp anything, but I used some of my leftover squares and just put the points on here. So I think that looked good. So that's the other card. So they look quite different, don't they? And really different from your paper. You know, when you look at the paper, it's just giving you kind of just a little bit of a selection of your papers. Yeah, I really like it with it embossed like this. I think it really worked well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try. This is a lovely suite of products. I do love Lily of the Valley, so that's one of the reasons I chose this suite. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoy your thumbs up and any comments that you make on my YouTube channel. I love it. I hope everyone has a great week.